So we are going to be talking about slope today. And this connects to our coordinate planes when we're graphing our points. So this, in this unit, and this year, we're working on what we call linear functions. Write that word down. So linear function is just a fancy name for graphing a straight line. The word linear means straight, or means line, I should say. So we are graphing graph that displays a straight line. Because remember how we talked about sometimes in math, you're going to graph lines that make curves. The lines that we're working on all make straight lines. Okay, we have been talking about slope. So remember, slope is just the steepness of a line. Remember, we're dealing with all straight lines. So it's just how a line goes up or down or straight. Think about a ski slope. Yeah. And in math, the variable we use for slope is an m because it literally makes the slope. It goes up, down, right? So slope is just the steepness of a line. Now, the way we measure the steepness of a line in math is we use the rise over the run. The rise in math is your y coordinates. Remember, you go up and down on your vertical axis, and your run is your x coordinates. So the first slope, open your box that says positive slope, and we're going to write down this equation, y equals 2x, 2 times x. Then make yourself a little function table for your x and your y coordinate. When we are plugging in here, each time I want you to write your equation down just like when we did our checking step, right? And we're gonna plug in what they give us for our x coordinate. So my first x coordinate is -2. So I'm gonna plug in 2 times -2. So since this is -4, exactly, that's my first y up here. So I have my first set of coordinates, -2, -4. So I'm going to come over to my graph and I'm going to start at my origin. I'm going to go over to -2, and then I'm going to go down to -4, and I'm going to plot that point. Now I'm going to write my equation again. Each time I'm going to rewrite my equation. This time I'm going to plug in 0. So 2 times 0 gives me 0. So my next set of coordinates are the origin. Good, 0, 0. Exactly. So I'm going to plot that 0, 0. Now this time I'm going to plug in what for my x? 4. So my y would be 8. So now I have my third set of coordinates, 4, 8. So I'm going to go over to 4, up to 8, and I'm going to connect them to make a linear function, a straight line. Now, this is a positive slope Because if it's going up. Remember how I said it's rise over run? We're going up in the positive direction. We're going over in the positive direction. So this is a positive slope. So now we're going to do the same. So I'm going to write down that equation. And this time I'm going to plug in my -2 to begin. So remember, we're going to follow that PEMDAS. So -2 times -2 is 4, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So my first y would be 7. So my coordinates, -2, 7. So I'm going to go over to 2, up to 7, plot that first point. So this time I'm going to plug in 0.
But that wouldn't be a -0, would it?
Nope, but what's -2 times 0? 0, and 0 plus 3 is 3. So now I have 0, 3. So I'm starting at my origin. I'm not leaving that spot, but I'm going up 3 places there. And then I'll plug in my third coordinate into my equation. See how each time I'm rewriting that equation? Right, so -2 times 4 is -8 plus 3, so y is -5, yeah. So now we have our third coordinate, set of coordinates, go over to 4, down, and I'm going to connect that to make a linear function. And I'm going to look at my slope. So this time we're starting with a positive and we're going down. So that's why this is a negative slope. We're going to look at what we call an undefined slope. And let's write down this equation, x equals -4. So this time they only give us the x coordinates. So we're going to come up with a y coordinate. So Joseph said 6, so we'll use that for the first one. Let's come up with another one. Sergio, give me another y coordinate. Any one you want. What do you want to use for y? 2. And let's do a third one. Go ahead, Stella. 7. So you could come up with whatever you want for y, right? All we need to know is that the x must equal -4. So let's graph those 3 we came up with. -4, 6. -4, 2, -4, -7. And let's connect them to make our linear function, our line. What do we notice is happening? Oh, sorry, that was a positive. Even if we had -7, we could also graph -4, +7. What is happening here? What kind of line?
Straight line.
It's a vertical straight line, yeah. We call a vertical straight line an undefined slope. Is a 0 slope. So our equation, write this down, is y equals 6. So we're going to just give ourselves an x to make it a little easier, right? So we can come up with whatever we want for our x. Gigi, give me an x coordinate.
4.
4. As long as we have that y is 6. Cole, give me an x. 3. Liliana, give me an X. So we're gonna graph those points. Go over to 4, up to 6.
We get to pick the X?
You can pick it. Yeah, it just,
On the test, we can like just pick it?
well, honestly, you really don't need the X coordinate. If you knew that the Y is 6, right? We haven't left there. This time we came up with our own coordinates, but you don't have to. We could have just gone up to Y equals 6 here and drawn our horizontal line. I gave you some coordinates just to give you an idea that it doesn't matter what the X equals, the Y is always going to be 6. But if they give you an equation like this where it's Y equals, you know it's going to make a horizontal line. And we call that a zero slope because there is no slope, just a horizontal line. The last thing I want to do is draw that M. Remember, that's the variable we use in math to represent slope because it literally makes a slope. It goes up, positive, down, negative, up, positive, down, negative. That's how you can remember it. So the first thing you need to do, if you have not watched this Ed puzzle yet from last week, you're going to watch this one first. So Cole, looks like you didn't maybe finish it. Pull yours up. Levi, you need to watch that. Joseph, Elijah, Sammy. Sammy, you probably just didn't finish the last little bit of it. Okay, when you're working on your Khan Academy, you're looking to see your lines of symmetry, right? Once you plot your points and form a shape there. If it's a rectangle, if I fold it in the middle this way, those two sides are the same, that's one line of symmetry.
Is that going to show us like a picture?
If it folded the other way, you have a second line of symmetry. Yeah, you're either going to plot the points to form a shape, or it's going to show you one and ask you for the lines of symmetry there. Okay?